old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit? No, sir. Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button pumps.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the nobles and the piglets and the merchants.
Cash for the hogs and casket and demi-john. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the plaza.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where'd you get it?
What do you talk? You can talk, 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 by what? What's the instead of what?
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Bouncy forward made the trouble, made the people wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the Tennessee.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where'd you get it? Not the Model T at all. Think I gave it at the store, at the modern store, at the present day store, at the present day modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where'd you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where'd you get it?
You can talk, 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 trigger, you can talk, one, instead of what?
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why? You need a biscuit, made the trouble. You need to put the crackers in the package. You need a biscuit in an airtight, sanitary package, made the crackers out.
Obsolete. Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail couch. Tough love trying by the stood. Changed the approach of a traveling salesman, made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
John gone. Took a mouth, gone. He tossed in the pail and a tear.
Ever meet a fellow by the name of Hill?
Bill.
No.
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory?
What's Bell's line?
Never worries about his mind.
Never worries about his line?
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete. Or the you need a biscuit in an airtight, sanitary package of a Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his mind.
Never worries about line?
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang beat, bell ringing, big call, great show, knocking on the ripcord every time a bullseye sail. That's Professor Harold Hill. Tell us what's his mind.
He's a fake, and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man. And he sells clarinet to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass. And the piccolo, uniform shoe with the shiny gold braid and the coat and the big red stripe on it.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombone. No, sir. Now, let's picture a half thing here. There are few stars.
No, fell sells bands. Kids bands. Well, he doesn't, but he lives like a kid. He dallies and he gathers and he puffs and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, across state line to Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes legal in the state.
What? Now, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never met him in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered. Oh, you think that's funny, do you? Well, wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
Why should he get moved out of town on the ring?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach them kids to play.
So?
And to form them kids into a band. With himself as the leader.
What's the matter with that?
He don't know one note
Excuse me. I do believe I'll have to give River City a try.
I don't believe I caught your name, mister.
Squires, I'd be interested in running a rig for Sunday, if you could accommodate me.
Then you ought to see the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late as usual.
Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun! What is... Shh! But Greg!
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you was coming?
I didn't know I was coming myself. Besides, how was I to know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? You was a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you were. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toppenmeyer, boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good. So give me the lowdown here.
You'll never get anywhere in the band business with these stubborn islands, Greg. Besides, there's a stuck-up music teacher here that'll get you exposed before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's a librarian. Demon.
Perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
I will. So how are you going to start the pitch?
Same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance, and then get your town out of the terrible trouble that it's in.
But River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for our kids' band. You remember. So what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing except the billiards parlor just installed a new pool table.
That'll do. And remember, music teacher.
Music.
See you later, Mars. Friends, do you have any idea the kind of trouble that your town's in? Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, sitting mighty proud to say I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Did you ever take a try to give an ironclad lead to yourself from a three-reel big shot? But just as I say, takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a ballpark game, I say that any boob can take and shove all in a pocket. And I call that slop, the first big step on the road through the depths of day to day. I say first it's a little medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a big backseat. And listen to some big out-of-town jazz player hearing him tell that horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sit down right on a horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on a damn patch. Make your blood boil, well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets at the table. Pockets that are the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B, and that rhymes with B, and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City, you'll be frittering away. See, your young man will be frittering. Frittering away there at noontime, summertime, short time too. Get the ball in a pocket, never mind getting a dandelions pulled or a screen door patch and a beefsteak hounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Oh yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. Thinking of the kids in knickerbocker shirt tails, young ones peeking to the pool hall when after school. Trouble, folks, right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on with our loafing around that hall? They'll be trying out Bebo, trying out Cubebs, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beads, and bragging all about that they're gonna cover up a telltale breakfast sunset one fine night. They leave the pool hall heading for the dance at the Armory. Liberty men and scarlet women and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter in the arms of jungle animal instinct mass hysteria. Frenzy idle brain is a devil's playground. Trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T, that rhymes with P, that stands for we've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he memorizing jokes at a Captain Billy's whiz bang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell, and so's your old man. Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T that rhymes with P, that stands for we've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is a devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble. With a T. Not rhyming with me. That stands for pool. Didn't I beat you in?
No.
I'll only be in town a short while.
Good.
Amaryllis. Keep on. Fine, dear. Now your exercises. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July. It was, Mama. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me around town. Oh? Who? I don't know. I never saw him before. Didn't he say anything? He tried. Did you say anything? Of course not. Don't dawdle, Amaryllis. La, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear. If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to have found out what the gentleman wanted. I know what the gentleman wanted, Mama. What, dear? You'll find it in Balzac. Excuse me for living, but I never read it. Neither has anyone else in this town. There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much too hard. Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice. But, darling, when a woman has a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks. Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject. No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about the stranger. What stranger? The suitcase you made me the very last chance. Mama, do you think that I'd allow a common matcher now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men aren't concerned, and I have no intention. I know all about your standards, if you don't mind my saying so. There's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to that wonderful abundant thing, Captain Noah Webster. You could copy it for yourself about your Irish imagination, your Iowa summers, and your library full of books. Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear. Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that any way to walk into the house? Hello. That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from my boy. That lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I'd especially like it if you come, Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis has asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because he asked because he was. He's ashamed.
We know all about his list, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis, Amaryllis. He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people? Just because he lisps?
It's not just because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
We all have to be a little patient.
But I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say the night to on the Evening Star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Amaryllis, don't cry. You've got lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Yes, I'll end with an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my cross-hand piece?
May I?
May I play my cross-hand piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you know what it's like a night to on the Evening Star.
I time being, just say, good night, my someone. You can put in a name when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my cross.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining, it's bright as the light. Now good night, my love, for good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart. Lovers are parted, they say. I must depend on a wish and a score, as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. Good night. Good night.
I'm sure we are all grateful to my wife, Lacey McKechnie, for leading the singing. And to J.C. Squires for his fine stereopticon slides. And to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine piano player. As Mayor of River City, I welcome you, River Citizens, to the 4th of July exercises. set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. 4 and... The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreeing about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watanyi girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present Spectacle My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take a leading part. Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. 4 and... The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days at Pompeii, will take place providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out to the Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow, across the creek from the pest house.
Well, how can it be rated? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Hubert. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
Now, Mrs. Packard, most of the time, J.C., you know us.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business if you was just accurate most of the time.
I read the paper.
Order! Order! Let's have order here! Order! Order!
Seems like the number 8's late again tonight.
I make them early.
She's late, all right.
Right on time. What's the matter with your wife?
There's nothing wrong with
Will you members of the school board stop bickering in public?
your wife.
Never mind. 4 and...
Hey, we heard there's a pool table in town.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Now, just a minute.
Well, is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises until this pool table matter is settled.
Let's protect our children.
Yeah!
Resist sin and corruption.
Yeah!
Fight that devil and keep our youngins pure.
Yeah!
Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble with friends with a wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Kids Band. Think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls come tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. I say a kids band, do you hear me? I say River City's gotta have a kids band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and River City's gonna have her kids band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, and that band's gonna be in uniform. And Johnny, Teddy, Willie, Fred, and you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals. You'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets, ta-ta-da. and you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, the great Creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 strong bones led the big parade with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 strong bones fought the morning sun with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 great stringing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. Copper bottom timpani and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50-mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
His father's one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, you.
tagging down Main Street after my house girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you counterdict me.
Please just walk together.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was a-doing. My little Gracie seen you. Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails? Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing. 10 o'clock sharp, over City Hall. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough. He's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Aw, gee, Professor, that's for little kids.
I'm not talking about being in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever done anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple of times.
You did? You're my man. Do you realize that nobody has ever invented a music holder for the marching piccolo player? There's no place to hang the music.
I wonder where I get some wire from.
Look in your cellar. That's where most people keep their wire.
Hi, Professor.
Oh, and Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, Miss, what's your name?
Zanita, I don't have any idea you was talking to me. You got.
Zanita. Do you know Tommy DeGilis?
Well,
Tommy, would you please escort this young lady home?
only accepting, I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. You got.
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library, by way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Gosh, dog.
You got.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow. You made a couple of mistakes, though.
Oh?
Mayor happens to own that billiard parlor and the new pool table.
Oh. What was my other mistake?
That's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Hello, Professor Hill. We need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificate.
Nothing of the kind. We need letters and papers.
Make him put up a
Now, what am I hearing here? Say, ice cream.
Ice cream. But I don't sing, young
Then
man.
talk. Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir. And you. And you, sir. Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of these four gentlemen without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. Why, they hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
How can there be
Any sin in sin, sin? Where is the good in goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify, mystify. Tell me
live alone or anything.
No.
I've got some wonderful caramels over at the hotel. If
Mr.
you'd like,
Hill.
we could... Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street? Like some Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana. Gold medal class of '05.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around town wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily hoodwinked or mesmerized as some of the people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there which may very well give me some interesting information about you. About you.
Hey, Greg.
Hi, Morris. And don't call me Gray.
So, how'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. Ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
Who did you cut us off tonight? For a minute there, even I thought you knew something about leading the band. Just like we used to imitate that band concert fella back in Joplin.
Aw, kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. Just you keep your eye on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? But it used to only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
It still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniform.
Ah, no, Greg, you haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music professor for any 4 weeks.
Mars,
But Greg, you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't have to bother with the notes.
But Greg, in 4 weeks, those people are going to want to hear music. You'll have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they forget everything else just in time for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. Timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Washburn.
Come line yourself up a little canoodling.
Well, you know.
Say, I can fix you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl teaching Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, innocent, wholesome Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs no spider ever. Listen, boy. A girl who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir. For no Diana do I play for, and I can tell you that right now. I snarl. I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark. I fizz. For the lady who knows what time it is, I cheer. And I rave. For the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me. Bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir. That kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting. All the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir. Why, she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. Flop. I flinch. I shy. When the lass with the delicate air goes by, I smile and I grin. When the gal with such a sin walks in, I hope and I pray for Hester to win just one more ray. The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me. But you see, part of my plans for the music committee includes a committee on the... Mrs. Shin, do that again. Your foot, the way you just raised it.
Oh, well, I have fun.
Oh, what grace, what natural flow of movement, what line of rhythm.
Mr. Hill.
Every move you make bespeaks del Sarte, Mrs. Shin. will you please accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Dance Committee? Ladies, won't she be the nice chairperson?
Oh, yes.
Every move you make bespeaks Del Sarte. Will you please say yes, Mrs. Shin, will you?
You really became me, Shin.
Oh.
Well, that is, dancing so well.
Then you accept?
Yes, indeed, and I would like to.
Thank you. Now, the young lady who plays piano, Marion Peru, I believe. After all, she is the librarian.
Professor, her compliment doesn't belong on it. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books!
And first, of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but
Man, that's on my street, let me tell.
stop. I'll tell. That woman made brains and overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison Hospital, Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park. That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Just who'd he think he was anyway?
Well, I should say, show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library built to the city.
But he left all the books to her. She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, that woman made brains.
Well, yes, I have just what you need over at the hotel. If you'll just come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to take you out. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you now. It's all right. I know everything.
What?
And it doesn't make any difference.
What?
No apologies. No explanations, please. I'll only be in time a short while and, the sadder but wiser girl for me.
What are you talking about?
No apologies, I said. It's all right.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what do you want to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not listening, Marion. Look. Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big glassy with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer halls were gaping, had to whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to Marian. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing it. In the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win for the civilized world accepts its unforgivable sin. And he talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Willson, and he taught me aloud with vanity like Reverend, such as Marion, Madam Librarian. The ladies' dance committee. The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school. Marshmallow? Not a bad afternoon, Tommy. 11 sales out of 12 tries. I'll tell you what, it's getting late. Why don't you go home and get some supper, and I'll finish up on my own.
Okay, goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you still listening? You haven't got a license?
Why no, Mayor Shin. I collect doors, and this particular specimen has an unusual grain quality that I find particularly...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. And why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
Just missed you, I guess. Mr. Mayor, your hand! Oh, no!
What? What?
That spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, it is? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that America has finally produced an artist that can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
How can I get one of them horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 import fee.
Just think, I could have missed this whole... I haven't got any, son! Why, you unscrupulous! You be down to City Hall with your references by 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
Couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Mrs. Peru, do you realize that you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Your son has that same firm chin, those same splendid cheek muscles. By George, not that he could ever really be great, you understand.
Oh, is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Because you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. O Weber, O Sterling, O Ludwig.
But Professor, we are Irish.
No, really, that clinches it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your boy was born to play the cornet. That'll be $7 earnest money. Not a penny more due till the opening of band practice. Thank you. Oh, and of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Why, certainly. Hello there, son. A stripe? Certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe running down each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you get him in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick you for hod carrying, clay pipe
In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Gold medal class of '05. How to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Ah, Peru. I thought that name sounded familiar. I tried to see you since the other night, but...
He wants to put Winthrop in the band. We're not interested, Mama. But Marion, he may have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Ah, your husband musical? I should like to speak to him.
Did you burst in on everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs? We're not interested. Marion.
Well, now that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's all the more reason why the boy should have something like this.
My father is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? And as to your musical tricks, Mr. Hill, why don't you join some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Well, Miss Peru, I have hardly ever heard anything so... I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little wary, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
1 minute, Professor. About the boy's measurements, I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crouch 14.
Fine, that's all I need. Now, I must be getting back to the hotel.
You'll have to excuse Marion, Professor. She's not really...
No apologies, please. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone? He has. And I hope not forever. Don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana Conservation Class 05. Now, darling. Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on chasing every self-centered, fast-talking, traveling salesman that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me. All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire. Mama. Winthrop. Winthrop. I know you're there. Winthrop, would you please go down to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside? It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large black volume with brown corners.
Do I have to?
Well, you don't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down here. Thank you, dear. Now what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night? I have a feeling that that journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims. Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of a white knight do you expect if we're riding along? Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library. He does? And I'm not waiting for Ed Gammage in that removable back seat in his buggy. But I'm not waiting for a knight in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Occasionally he'd ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great. Him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him where the others ride by. Walk and love him till I die. Till
Hey, Steve! Tommy! Papa, Mom are sitting right over there in the back. She's gone.
All right, then. Meet me after dinner.
I can't. It's upward league night. Into where?
At Footbridge.
You see, isn't that just what I said? Last time the lumberyard, this time the footbridge. And where will I meet you after that? In the black hole of Calcutta? You guys.
I only wanted to show you my invention.
What invention?
It's a music holder for the marching piccolo player. See, it has a few bugs. So when you hold it steady enough to read the music, it cuts off circulation in your fingers, and you can't wiggle them. And meanwhile, you kind of go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa!
Is that the very first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials I said on the morning of July 4th, 1912. And now, look. My wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of tending to the home.
But George!
The school board singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. And my oldest girl is boodling around with some wild kid. And my business is falling off so far I can't even find the bell.
Mayor Shin, I have found some interesting information about Professor Hill's alma mater,
Is who?
his university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's all I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of Art 5.
Yes, but I think if you'll just take a minute to read a little bit about the conservatory, you won't have to read much further. Like, it's on page...
Papa, look! Here comes the Wells Fargo wagon!
The Wells Fargo wagon!
The Wells Fargo wagon? A likely story. At this time of the day, the Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the band instrument!
The band instruments! Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a rolling down the street. Please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a rolling down the street. I wish I knew
stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. La-di-da.
Sister, isn't this the most drumpiest solid gold thing you ever saw? I never thought I'd ever see anything so swampy as swampiest solid gold thing. Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by God tootin' out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury over the county seat. About that book.
Come, George, Tempest Fugits.
You watch your parade, doggy. Get along if you have to. You gotta get some from the library.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup.
It's you all the way into town.
It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up. And it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all
daughter scared you. I'll warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter again, I'll, by God, horsewhip you till hell won't end again.
Now, George!
Not one poop out of you, madam. Yes, now get out of this public building. I got as much right to public building as you do. Right? How do you get any right? Aiding and abetting this swindling activity, the spellbinding symbol salesman. You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now get out, you wild kid.
Papa, please! It's capitalists like you make flood in the marketplace. God!
You watch your phraseology. Go home. You Ellie?
Yes, sir.
You tend to your dance.
I did.
I'll handle this, Anita. Taking up with wild kids from the wrong side of town.
But, Mayor Shin, if I could just make you understand...
Well, you can. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that book you gave me from cover to cover for a whole week now and didn't find a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please.
I'll settle your hash as soon as we get these premises off my oldest girl. Oh, yes?
All right. But in the meantime, I want to let you know that I'm vouching for Tommy DeGilis. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in this band. And you'll be the first one standing in line to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs to count the broken legs they'll have from tripping over their beards. And I'll tell you something, my fine young feathered young... Oliver, J.C., you're all in. Men, I want his credentials, and I want them tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slippier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
You mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his credentials or get him in jail. Couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a button hook in a well.
Professor, I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, the brave man only 500? Ha, ha, ha. Of course, Mayor Shin was already pretty mad on account of his billiard parlor. Now, I suppose a musical recommendation from a musical authority such as yourself would help, but I couldn't think of asking.
Why, Professor?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been meaning to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet? Mother of pearl keys.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. The first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Yes, blats.
And he sings the minuet and G-dee-da-dee-da almost constantly.
La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. La-dee-da. La-dee-da.
But, you see, he never touches the cornet.
Well,
He says you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well?
He tells me about some think system. If he just thinks the minuet in G, then he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor...
Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary new method, I'll admit. But so is Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the egg, globe, and Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I cannot discuss these things here in public. Perhaps if you'd allow me to call. When may I call?
Why, any night this week.
We've just come to tell you that your kind of woman belongs at our Delft Art Taking It.
Oh, dear, tonight, that's the stupid professor now. You dance like a we know that you will do the most particular part of your ball here. We're women's parts.
been deputized.
Yes, congratulations. Now I have just what I need over at my hotel. It'll only take me a second.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to go with you.
Okay. Well, let's see if I've got my hotel key around here somewhere. Well, now what's this? Why, it's a testimonial from Madame Reedy, the only female bassoon player to ever appear on stage in the Red Path Circuit.
Let me see that.
Actually, that was her stage name. She was really from Moly. Lida Rose Quackenbush. You'll never forget the name. Same as the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in my sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bells chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, pop up the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lida Rose, oh, won't you be my Lida Rose? Oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of that, dream of that, dream of a love song that might happen till I love you. Oh yes, I love you, and I'll bravely tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet the memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you, no.
Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in my sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses sky. I can hear the chapel bells
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell me, yes, no, fiddlesticks, just open your mouth and let it come out? Now, Mama. Yeah, nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you see him alone. And if you haven't the gumption to tell him how you... Tell him? There's nothing wrong with a little lady like that. Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing?
Fishing?
With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, it still has some worms left.
Did you have a good time?
Plunk did. He told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. He taught me a song that hardly has any S's in it. after Sir Monroe, it's my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. La-di-da.
Leave the dishes, Mama. Do them.
Didn't you have to change for the social?
There's time later.
Say, do the Shins live around here somewhere?
The Shins live on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Oh, criminy. Ah, I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fella Hill forming a boys' band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades, whistling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I got to see Shin. I'm just passing through, and number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish it was 20. Would sure like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cow, and Bill Self. But just now, I'm out to protect the good name of our traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cow, you're making a mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. Why, that fella's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. Why, he spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not gonna spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him. He's no more a professor than the...
I know all about that. Band directors are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. Why, he's a fine director.
Now, wait a minute. Now, fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. He never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
But if you'll just listen to me for a minute...
Oh, I'd like to. Ooh, I'd like to do more than that if I had the time. I sure got the inclination. Oh, but I gotta get back on that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite with somebody on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl. I'll see you next time through.
You'll never catch that train at the depot. You'll have to make it at the next crossing.
No, sir. I gotta leave word, and I can see you ain't one to leave it with.
But, Mr. Cowell, you don't know me yet.
Ah, is that an invitation?
I mean, I don't know you.
Yeah, I need more time anyway.
I mean, as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I never met a man who sells anvils. That's quite different.
Yep, Ted's a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? I missed that train and I'll get fired. And I gotta leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your teeth, Todd. How do I know you'll deliver these letters?
Try it. Oh, there's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... Who do you think you're protecting? Why, that guy's got a gal in every county in Illinois, and he's taking it away from every one of them. And that's 102 counties, not including the piano teachers like you and cozies up to keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you deserve the last of me, girly girl.
At the least suggestion of a question, like a rose, I'm home again, rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marian. Like a rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same.
Mrs. Peru, top of the evening to you, Miss Marion.
You and Marion come up and sit. I've got some jelly on the stove. There's no jelly on the stove, Mama. Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? Well, I didn't mean...
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting that your invitation invert anything but academic enlightenment. The think system, I'd been by several times earlier this week to try to explain it to you, but there always seem to be people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Oh, I'm glad. I wouldn't want anybody beating my time.
You wouldn't?
No, ma'am. Well, tonight's evidently not the convenient night. See you at the sociable later.
Professor Hill, is it true that you've had 100... What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it true that you've developed a think system?
A what? A think system? Oh, yes, a think system. It's as easy as whistling. And no one has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You just think clearly to have the tune come out here. Now, just try this a minute before you ask any questions.
I take your word for it.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100. Have they all been as fascinated as I with the think system?
Some more, some less. One young lady had thought of the same system when I arrived in her town. She showed me a few refinements that I found particularly... Have I said something wrong?
Please, don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. I'm sure you have many more important things to do than explain the think system to me.
Can't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Well now, Miss Marion, you mustn't believe everything you hear. After all, one even hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so that Mama and Winthrop and I would have some security. Now, surely you don't believe that...
Of course not. But that's my point exactly. Why do you think people spread these rumors?
Narrow-mindedness? Jealousy? Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Then jealousy mostly spreads rumors about traveling salesmen. What have you heard?
Oh, nothing about you personally. Just generally.
What have you heard generally?
Well, just that the disappointment and jealousy can lead to, well, take you, for instance, and your attentions to customers, and why, teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, now honestly, mightn't they?
Why?
And so, if a salesman or somebody were jealous, well, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Of course.
So, that just proves that you should never believe everything you hear. Well, I mean, if you discuss things and...
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But could we do it sitting down? You do sit. Your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
We could also sit on a large hollow log over at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge before with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I have to dress for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 15 minutes.
I can't. Please, some other time. Maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find that you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
So would I.
The footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Great.
The uniforms arrived. The kids are already in them. Those people are going to be screaming for music if those kids are up sociable.
Yeah, I know.
Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's over at the lumber yard pretending to hold a practice at least.
All right. Give me a second, Morris. Okay, all right. Go get the rig, and I'll meet you in plenty of time.
I got it.
Okay, well, what time's the freight go?
9:40 at the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, if you want to turtle whirtle around here all day and get yourself caught up in a bunny track, you go right ahead.
Okay. I'll meet you in plenty of time, I told you. Now beat it. Go get the rig. Amateurs. Miss Meredith, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
I meant you were about, well, I'd say 26 years late, getting to the footbridge with a fella.
If you want to know, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I don't suppose I'm the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, surely you don't think I've been selling you anything?
No, you haven't. You've given me something.
Given? I don't recall giving anything.
But you have. Something wonderful. And I'm glad. That's why I came. But please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. I know there have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that doesn't mean that I can't be grateful for what you will leave behind for me.
But Marion,
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was There's a lot of things you don't know about me. Excuse me. I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. This could be it. Now what?
Who's the salesman here? Seems like she's selling and you're buying.
I had to keep her off balance, didn't I? I told
Well,
you.
she's so far off balance now you couldn't tell her from a catboat in a hurricane.
Listen, Buster Brown, I've come up through the ranks on this skirmish, and I'm not resigning without my commission.
But, Greg, you can't get anywhere right out here on the footbridge.
Oh, you're right. Tell you what, there's a place over there in the Madison Picnic Park, near the social. Makes this place look like an old lady's home. Now beat it. Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now then, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah, well, we don't really have to go into that now, do we?
No, Harold. Or ever, for that matter. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately, but she did plenty when you first got here.
Oh? About what?
Professor Harold Hill? Gold medal class of '05? Gary Conservatory? Harold, Gary Conservatory wasn't around in '05. The town wasn't built till '06.
Why, it most certainly was, because I went there and I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
The town wasn't built till '06.
But you knew all the time?
See it the sociable.
You did know all the time.
Well, ever since July 7th, 3 days after you arrived, I tore this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little... While 110 cornets played the air, then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass as I cut up and down the square.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining, it's bright as the light.
There were horns of every shape and sweet dreams be yours, dear Beatrice, there be.
While 110 cornets play the air.
I wish I may and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone. Good night.
Greg, this guy's crazy. He's been going all over everything.
I'll say I'm crazy. Miss McTrain probably lost my job, but I got you now, Hill. And you, okay? Why, you'd be in the clink right now if it hadn't been for that piano teacher. Lily gagged me around till I couldn't get to shin. Little dried up man hungry. Doxy, round.
You shut up or I'll kill you!
You bully! You big blow up! I'll stay in this town till you've had yours up, down, through, and sideways. Why you never even know the territory?
Here's your stuff, Greg. The rig's in the alley. Come on, hurry up.
Stop! Listen to this, man. Why, you gullible green grass goats. Can't you see you're being swindled out your eye teeth? Right now? Why, this minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're all fiddling in the parlor. Yeah, I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket. Pickpocket? Well, same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister. like a mad dog. There won't be any Harold Hill either. Why, he'll be on the next train out of town. Now you all believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for? I want my money back. Money back? I want it high.
After him, and when you find them, bring him to the gym. After him, try the low road, look by the mill, try the grade, back it up, Larry!
Mary, I've been looking all over for you. Where have you been?
I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run away. Please, Harold, go. They're talking about tar and feathers.
I had to see you.
But you don't owe me a word. Everything's all right. Don't you know that? Please, go. Winthrop!
Wait a minute here, son.
I'm not your son. Leave go.
Not until I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You didn't tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave go me, you big liar.
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now I'm bigger than you, and you're going to stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling. There's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the beginning. And that's why I wanted you in the band, just so you'd stop moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, the other thing isn't any of your business, now that I think of it.
I wish you'd never come to River City.
Winthrop, don't say that.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he ever said.
I know I promised you your symbols and your flags.
But it all happened, just like you said. The lights and the colors.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid in town acted and walked all around here all summer, especially you, Winthrop. And the parents. Does Mama wish Harold had never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
I can't go. I wish I could. But for the first time in my life, I've got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Great, they're coming. That way. That way.
Please go, Harold.
Which is why I interrupted the program at this point. And rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended. And always remember, fellow River Citizens, that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from happening. Fourscore and...
What have you done about getting our money back? That professor collected more than $300 for uniforms just tonight. And we haven't seen them uniforms either.
He's slippery. I told you.
I haven't seen any uniforms
fourscore and virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I've heard, who are melting tar and plucking feathers, I shall not say them nay.
I should think that there ought to be some of you who should be grateful for what Harold has brought to our town. And I should think that you could forget our Iowa stubborn, chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember what River City was like before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful, and if so, I would think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's anyone in this hall who doesn't think Professor Harold Hill should be tarred and feathered, let them stand up. You literally sit down. And the rest of you standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you people forgotten how you bought high-priced instruction books, technical uniforms, and expensive band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your son or daughter would be taught to play the band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band? That's Winthrop.
Think, kids. Think.